Good to go. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Gerardo Saka, and I'm a program manager in the Azure AD B2C team, here to talk to you about signing in your customers with Azure AD B2C. So let's talk about the identity problem. What identity problem, you ask? I mean, I want to build an app. So for my particular case, I want to build a to-do app. No one has ever built any to-do app, so I'm pretty sure I got a good shot there. So I need users for that app. How am I going to get them in? Well, I need a username and password table, right? Simple. Hopefully, I know that I need to hash them. So it starts out pretty simple at first. But then I need to allow my users to edit their profile. Once they sign in, they want to change their name. They want to change some extra attributes about them. So I need to deviate from my to-do app to actually go build that. A bunch of users get stuck and need to reset their password. So I need to go ahead and build that as well. Support Facebook. A lot of people want to use Facebook, and I also read that conversion rates with Facebook login is better, so I want to try that out. And Google. And mobile login. Now that I have a mobile app, I need them to sign in through the mobile app, which in turn requires supporting web APIs. Now that I'm getting super successful, because of course I'm the only to-do app out there, I need to ensure high availability so that the app does not go down, which means scaling for millions of users. Yes, it's that popular. And now I had to add multi-factor authenticator because a lot of users have critical stuff in there that they need to secure by a second factor. Need to support data residency for people in Europe. And now Facebook changed their API, so my sign-in through Facebook broke. Quite a bit of work. I just wanted to build a to-do app, and I've stuck doing identity stuff day in, day out. So here's where Azure AD B2C comes to the rescue. Azure AD B2C is a customer identity and access management platform in the cloud for you. So you're all familiar with the cloud. This is the conference about the cloud and outsourcing a lot of the responsibilities so you can focus on the core business that you're targeting. B2C helps you with identity and access management for your external customers. So the big thing about it is that you can target any customer in any platform. We're standards compliant. We've got libraries that we have that make it easier for you, and we also support third-party libraries. We have built-in self-service identity experiences that we provide out of the box for you. Click, click, click. You got them set up with sign in, sign up, edit profile, reset password. You can make it your own by customizing each one of the pixels in the experience. You can also scale to millions of identities, and that's mostly because the engine that powers B2C is the same engine that powers Office 365. So the first step was getting sign-in and auth right for Office and Azure, and now we decided to share it with you guys so you can leverage the same technology. So enough about chat. Let me show you what this is all about. So I got this. This is my one and only, unique ever to-do list. Oh, hold on. There we go. My to-do app. Now I'm going to go do sign up, sign in. And at this point, this is going to switch over to B2C. This is Azure AD B2C. Can barely tell. You can actually not tell from all the branding. I've supported Facebook, Google, and by the way, for those of you that know Azure AD B2C, we support Twitter now, public preview. And I can also have local accounts. So in this case, I've already created an account. Signs me back in. So at this point, from the developer's perspective, all I had to do is connect with Azure AD B2C via standard protocols, OpenAD Connect. We've got samples for a lot of languages. And effectively, I'm in. I've got a user in, and can also do things like edit password, edit profile. Again, this is also powered by Azure AD B2C. And as you can tell, we give you a lot of flexibility around what you can ask the user for. There's a lot of attributes, and I'll show you the code behind, not the code behind, but the configuration behind this, where you can say, ask for a job title, display name, and a country. And a country is actually a drop-down. These are all provided out of the box, so we have a set of attributes that we provide for you. But also, you can add your own. So in this case, I've decided, give me a moto, if you want. So I can then modify my username and say, I just go by Saka. Now my app picks up the change, and I'm in the system. Now, let's actually use this app. So for this app, I'm going to create a task. So, wow, the audience. Hopefully, I can achieve that. So now the task has been created. What is going on under the hood? Azure AD B2C not only provides sign-in for the application that's being presented to the user, but you can also push that downstream to your web APIs. So in this case, there's a web API in the backend that's running and accepting tasks, doing CRUDs and tasks, and I'll show you that right now. So switching over to a configuration of Azure AD B2C, this is what you'd see in the Azure portal. Over here are the basic constructs that I kind of alluded to already. The first one being the application. These are all the applications that I've created. To-do web app is the one you saw, and to-do API is the one that the web app is talking to. Identity providers is where I configure via a simple one-click experience. I just go and add, and right now I've added Google, Facebook, and Twitter, as you saw. But you can go add many more, and we keep growing this list as we go. User attributes, this is what I was alluding to at the beginning. So you see all those built-in attributes that we provide out of the box. So for the most part, if you have a very simple scenario, you can start out without any configuration whatsoever on this front. But you can also add your own. So in this case, I've added both motto, which you saw. I decided to expose that when the user edits their profile, and also a to-do score that I'm going to populate separately via an API. And I don't expose this to the user, but I send it down in the claims for the application to use. The policies over here are the core of Azure AD B2C. This is how you mesh together your experiences and decide what happens with each experience that the user goes through. So as you saw in my demo, I had a sign up or sign in policy that converges both the sign in experience and, if the user does not exist, actually sign them up. You can also just keep them separate and have your own sign up or sign in policy. The other two policies we provide out of the box are profile editing, which you saw, and reset passwords, which allows the users to reset password via code and email. These policies have a lot of configuration points that allow you to tweak the experience a little bit further. So you can see here, you can see over here that even though I've set up 3 identity providers, actually, I can actually tweak and make it such that for a given policy, I only want to allow 1, 2, all of them. So you can actually end up with separate apps that have separate identity providers or your own configurations as you see fit. Likewise, these are controls which attributes the user gets prompted when they sign up for. So in this case, this matches what you saw where I'm asking it for their display name, email address, and motto. Application claims what gets sent down to the application. And I can even configure things like how long does the token last, how long does the session last, and other advanced configurations. Lastly, one of the key things, as you saw from my beginning pain point with building my app, multi-factor authentication is just a click away. Lastly, page UI customization. So this is where I actually configured it to talk to my ASP.NET backend, which is hosting a website that has all the styling that gets presented to the user in a seamless way. So even though it's hosted elsewhere, B2C picks it up and presents it to them as part of the sign-in experience. Something we just announced this week in public preview, localization and support for language customization. So this is more than just localization. This allows you to provide your own strings. So if we call something first name and you want to call it something else, you can actually go provide your own overrides for that. And you could do that at any of the languages you want to support. So one last thing to announce here on the IDP front is very soon we'll have the ability for you to do an extra identity provider. And let me just showcase that for you real quick. So what I'm going to do right now is on the fly swap out the policy that my application is using so that it has a different sign-in experience. And this experience is not branded, but it's just to showcase the extra feature that we're going to have pretty soon. So over here, this is the Azure website that's powering my web app. And through configuration, I have all the policies exposed. So I'm just going to go swap out the policy. Save. Go back to my application. And once this is done, sign out. Sign back in. And now the experience has changed. Again, this is not branded, but now what you can see here, and if you attended Vittoria's talk, he already stole my thunder there. But we currently support adding Azure AD-based IDPs. And very soon, we'll support doing that via the UI, where it's just a click-click experience. So switching gears a bit. This is all great. You know, I love hopefully you guys love the simple setup experience. You have an app, you wire it up to policies, you get sign up, sign in. But for all those of you guys that deal with very, very complex identity scenarios, you have lots of other IDPs that are unknowns. Some of them talk SAML, some of them are REST-based. You have a lot of legacy apps, and you want to manage all the identity for those legacy apps centrally from the developer perspective. You also need to integrate data from many sources throughout the pipeline of your identity flow. So for those of you that are identity pros, we've got something. We're now announcing that we will make available for you the Identity Experience Framework. This is actually the engine that powers B2C. So as you saw, with the built-in policies, we've pre-configured some journeys for you. We give you sign up, sign in, edit profile, reset password. But with this, you can actually go into the hood, under the hood of B2C, and start configuring your own journeys where you can add steps, add pivots. You can call out to identity providers that are not exposed in the UI, call your own stores, integrate with tools such as CRM and marketing tools where you can actually, as part of the auth flow, go right out that you have a new opportunity, a new lead. So just to showcase this functionality, let me switch over to a website that we've got. So this website right here is going to have a more extended and customized user journey. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in with a Facebook account. So I've already signed in with my beautiful seal here, Facebook. Sign in with Facebook account. It's going to pick it. So it already picked up my identity from Facebook since I was already signed in. And now, as you can see, this is different from the other experiences where it now asks me for a terms of service agreement. So this is an extra step that has been injected in the middle of the flow. So now I can go ahead and agree to that. Next step. Now it's going to ask me for my gamer tag. Now, for this one, we've wired it up to an Azure function that's going to go, in theory, check if the gamer tag exists. For the purposes of this demo, we've hard-coded the Azure function such that it rejects this gamer tags. So let me go ahead and do that. So now it says this gamer tag is already in use. It made a call out to the Azure function, came back, and asked me to provide a different one. So I'm going to provide my own. Actually, this is Pedro. And you see, all these extra pivots in the UI are now provided through the power of custom policies. So I can actually have progressive disclosure around whether I want to ask for more information or not. Go ahead and proceed. And now I'm going to do the dreaded multi-factor authentication. Now you all have my phone number, in case you want to call me. And demo gods are working for me, so it came in pretty quickly. Let's go ahead and type that in. Now I'm in. Last step of the auth flow. We've actually configured it to send an email. So, well, this is possible today in BASIC in the sense of you can actually put code in your application to do this. If you want all of your applications to do this centrally as part of the auth flow, then you can configure it in Azure AD B2C via custom policies so that your applications don't have to care about any of that. So you can go over here and see that Pedro has now received an email from Wingtip Toys. Again, another Azure function that leverages an email service to send out the email. Now, just to give you a little look under the hood as to what is going on. Over here, you're going to see, so custom policies are all about going really into the guts of Azure AD B2C. It exposes new constructs around policies. So for example, here, you can see a user journey. And the one we were exploring right now was sign in, sign up for games. There's a lot of steps involved, as you saw. Just going over a few, let me just show you. you can see over here that we're actually doing the call out to Azure Functions. So overall, as part of the journey, we say we need now to do a claims exchange or call out to Azure Functions. And we've defined Azure Functions at the top as a claims provider. Someone can provide information for the auth flow. Here are all the callouts for our different Azure functions that are involved in this flow. There's more to this flow than I actually covered. You can see over here that it's basically an Azure function, and what we send out, we send the claims in the body, extra configuration. So, to wrap up, Azure AD B2C gives you great out-of-the-box functionality that provides you with the reach, scale, security, high availability, and self-service, the same high availability and security and scale that we provide for Azure AD customers, but now at your hand for you to provide to your customers. Through a lot of easy one-click experience, you can set up Azure AD B2C using built-in policies. But for those identity pros that want more, they want a much more complex experience, talk to many more systems, you can use the identity, you can tap into the power of the identity experience framework to use your own policies and build for those complex scenarios. Now, one of the things worth calling out here is a lot of the scenarios that, as we see scenarios get popular here, get used a lot here, we're actually going to start migrating them over to become available through built-in policies. So as I said before, the very first thing we're going to move over from that's available today in custom policies, but will be available in the next few weeks in built-in policies, is the ability to add a custom OIDC-based IDP, which is the way for you to get Azure AD as an IDP. So that's pretty much all I had. I would encourage you guys to check out the quick start if you haven't already. So we have a quick start to get you going on built-in policies with Basic, with Azure AD B2C, where you can just get your .NET app, get it wired up to a sign-in experience pretty quickly. We also had a breakout session from Vittorio yesterday. You can go watch the recording. Pretty good demos. And we have a pre-recorded session in Azure Active Directory V2, Endpoint, and MSAL. Just call to action for you guys. Again, try out the quick start build. But more than anything, check out our B2C documentation. So in there, you'll see a menu on the left that has both everything for built-in as well as custom policies. So you can see documentation on how to get started with a REST API callout, calling into SAML IDPs, OIDC IDPs, and other things. Likewise, Azure AD B2C samples is a link to our samples repository where we have web APIs, native, Xamarin, web apps, everything we've got. If you have any questions, we're very active on Stack Overflow. I was just answering a few questions this morning, so feel free to post over there. We always love talking to you guys for one-on-one conversations, but Stack Overflow helps us make sure that everyone else benefits from us answering the question. And we have our feedback forum, which uses to drive our prioritization of features. Now that we've got a lot of new value delivered through custom policies, we still want to hear your feedback. If there is something that's really hard to do or you'd like to see in Basic, still let us know so we can prioritize it to make it simpler. Thank you very much.